Hey all, Ryan here from Planetary Lapidary, and it is the new year. It is the first Friday of 2025, so instead of doing a Freeform Friday today, I thought I would go over all my favorite Freeform Friday pieces from throughout 2024. Obviously I can't go through all of them because I did a ton this year that I just totally loved, but I'll go through some of the stuff, and I just want to thank everyone again for watching and supporting my videos. And let's get into it. Okay, so here's the stuff I picked out. I'll go over these first. So this year I did start doing some fossils in muriatic acid, and this is kind of what I came up with. I got some pretty decent ones, you know, with almost the entire thing all the way through. There's some Syringopora there, those three that I tried out, and the rest are pretty much chain corals. Got some really good ones, got some that just totally fell apart, but was really pleased. I'll try to just hold this one up to the light so you can see how clear it is. Yeah, so it goes all the way through, so that's probably my favorite one, the biggest one. But yeah, those were really fun, really cool to work on. They're very fragile. Here's that Syringopora. Kind of just have the pipes coming out there. But really cool. Again, that was with the muriatic acid. Then we'll move on to these guys. You know, I did do a lot of different displays like this. This is just like a fossil soup. You know, I just made a wood base, and then you can see all the little plant, you know, impressions in there. And I did do a couple of those, but I did drop them off at the shop where my stuff is. So this is the only one I actually had left here. But I really love making these things. You know, they're really easy to do, just a wood base, and then just find a really good piece. Clean it off really good, and then you can just spray poly on it and it'll have a nice shine, and it'll look like that forever. So that one was cool. And then I'll move on to my actual Freeform Friday pieces. So first off, we got this chert that was just unbelievable. I just put a little curve on the end of it there, and then beveled the edges. This is what it looked like originally on the back. So I knew it was going to look really cool, but when I actually shined it up, it looked way cooler than I thought. All that contrast and all that craziness. So that's the first cool one. Here's one that was just like a Stromatoporoid or silicified fossil that had a big quartz pocket that went all the way through it. Kind of gave this thing like an oval shape and then beveled the edges again, but I think this thing is just super awesome with all the different contrasting dark and light in there. There you can see some oolites and Stromatoporoid layers. It's just a really good mixed piece that had a ton of stuff, you know, like all the white dusky dots right there. That just looks super awesome. So I love that one. Next one, this I actually got from Wisconsin Moonstone. This is a piece of moonstone from Wausau. And I just made this one kind of look like a bone. And then I left the ends. The ends have that black arfedznite sticking out on both ends. And I just left the ends. I just love how it turned out. Big old pit in there. Just a really cool piece. Good flash on it. So that's probably one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done, I think. I just like it. Then we have this brecciated agate. So you can kind of see the little orange pocket there, little pocket there, a pocket there, and then you have some amphibole there that you can see that didn't take the shine, but really cool piece. You know, this is what it looked like before I cut it, so I had no idea that there was any agate inside of it at all, but really cool. So this was half of it. Oh, there's some pyrite up top there too, right in the top of it. That's cool. So brecciated agate, my first one I ever found, and I think the only one so far that I've ever found. And then the next one is another little agate, but this is a cold water agate. And this one I did all the way around through on both sides. So you can see those cold water agate pockets kind of go all the way through. And then they come through this side too. Tiny little micro bands. I love those a lot. I'm glad this one turned out. You know, sometimes this limestone doesn't really take a good shine, but this was a really good one. All right, next we got this horn coral that was in limestone as well. It's just really cool. And it's got druzy right on the edge of the tube there. This is what the back looked like. That's all I saw before I cut it. So I kind of did the edge and then did the front. It didn't take a super awesome shine, but I think it just looks totally awesome, just framing that horn coral and then it's got like that fossil soupy stuff in the middle. Really cool. All right, next, this one was a piece of chevron amethyst I did that my daughter got from North Carolina from one of those, like, you know, go through your own bucket thing in the sluice. So found a cool piece, you know, kind of had a cool shape to it, so I shined it up. And even with the cracks and the fractures and everything, I just love this thing. I just like that color with the white and the purple contrast. Then I left the back because it was pretty fragile. So I thought if I tried to do the back and make it flat, it would just fall apart. So that's another really cool one. This one was the coolest, probably chert sandstone mix. You can kind of see the pittiness in the shine when I go over it, but it just looks like a scene of like a mountain or water, or it's just a really cool picture stone. I just love it. I don't know why. This is the back, so I have the other halves of all of these too yet that I could shine up, but this is just really cool. I just love when they kind of look like the picture stone, you know, like a wave or something, and then like the mist of the water is the sandstone. Oof, really cool. All right, up next, this guy had a bunch of brachiopods in it, and I shined it up, just the face, and it's just really cool. It kind of looks like birds flying, but it's actual shells in the ocean. Really cool. Here's just one of the good examples of a really good Stromatoporoid I got this year. I just did both sides. You know, it's hard to get them without those pits in there, I always say, but this one is pretty good. Both sides on there, you can see all the layering, really cool. And then I left the entire edge raw, so you can see what it looked like before, and like what it would look like on the beach, like right there, and then what it looks like polished. So that was a really good chunk. And this one, I'm still thinking is just a mudstone or siltstone that's just stained all these colors, but this green color, and then like the beigey and brown and red, and then you flip it, and then it's, yeah, red and beige and like darker on the bottom. I just thought this was one of the coolest pieces I've ever seen. Like that, those green lines around there are just awesome. I don't know, I just love it. I shined the whole thing up, so it's super smooth too for like your pocket or your hand. Oh, really good. And then last but definitely not least, this I think is my favorite piece of all time. I did it this last year. This is my Stromatoporoid hockey puck. So this thing is big and thick. It's like 1 inch and something thick. It's not perfect, you know, it's got a little slant to it, but it is perfectly round, and it's almost perfectly shiny too. Like there's almost no pits at all in the whole thing if I go around. And then it's got this kind of crystal pocket in there too. Really cool. So really good representation of a Stromatoporoid. I usually don't find chunks this big that are this solid, you know. Usually they start to get gritty or they start to fall apart, but this was just a perfect one, you know, other than that fracture, which it did go all the way through the bottom, but it's not bad. And then just look at the texture, like the textures inside of just the end, like where I caught the layers in between that side and on this side. You can kind of even tell the differential sheen in there, kind of where the different layers of stuff is. Ugh, I just love it. This is why I love Stromatoporoids. I don't know, they're just my favorite. So that was pretty much, you know, a lot of my favorites from 2024. There obviously was way more, but I didn't want to make this video an hour long. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for future Freeform Fridays. I'm going to be doing one every Friday for the foreseeable future. And if you want to see how I made any of these, you can check back in my Freeform Fridays playlist. All these were made on there. I think I filmed every single one of these. So, all right, if you like this video, leave a like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.